The apple has been in cultivation for thousands of years, and modern apple varieties are able to be grown almost everywhere in Australia except for the tropical areas. Now let's start with those of you who say you don't have enough room to grow a fruit tree. Well, this is a classic example of a tree that grows in pretty much no room. You can grow them in pots, on small balconies. They just perform beautifully. It's called Pinkabelle. Now it's a sport of the pink lady. It has wonderful, big, succulent, juicy fruit, but it only gets to about 2.5 metres in height with about a 1.5 metre spread. And the great thing about it is that you don't have to do any work with this tree at all. It fruits off its first year growth, which means you don't prune it and you get more fruit. If you have a fence or wall that you'd like to screen, apples make the most magnificent tree to espalier against a wall. Simply tie the branches down to wires and regularly trim the tree to shape. This system makes using an apple with its soft green foliage a feature in its own right. Now these trees can live for hundreds of years using this technique. As far as growing apples goes, well, it's dead easy. Now, one thing you should keep in mind is they're a member of the same family of plants as roses, so you treat them fairly much the same. Just remember, they're a bit deeper rooted, so you do need to have lots of good soil. Now, the key to success with apple trees is making sure that you give them really good soil and lots of good fertiliser. Now, as soon as these trees, because they've been grown in pots, are in the ground, you give them a bit of a feed, and all you're going to do is stimulate lots and lots of good growth. Now, for me, you've always got to use an organic fertiliser, and this is the best. This Searles 5-in-1 Plus is rich in organic natural nutrients, and it's composed of a mixture of blood and bone plus hoof and horn for slow-release nutrients, fish emulsion for plant vitality, seaweed for healthy root development, composted animal manures for soil health and sustained growth, and of course potash, which keeps your trees healthy and promotes flowering and fruit development. If you're buying an apple tree, make sure you visit a garden centre that specialises in fruit or at least has a large fruit section. Now the specialist there should be able to tell you what pollinator is right for your variety and when it'll deliver fruit. The other thing with this is that you can actually put in 3 different varieties if you love your apples, so you can extend the season from February right through to May if you're growing varieties like Pink Lady, Gala and Fuji. All delicious, incredibly popular and fantastic to eat fresh. Now remember, make sure you pick all the fruit off your trees as soon as you planted them. Look, it might hurt, but all the energy is going to go into growing growth, which is exactly what you want. Lots and lots of foliage and a nice developed plant. Now, apples are a rich source of pectin, fibre, and of course lots of nutrients that you really must have. And they are just so good for you. So the old adage of an apple a day keeps the doctor away is so true, and nothing's better than freshly picked apples.